Thank you for joining us on 2024 Which Way Today,
which helps you decide where the wind is blowing insofar as 2024 campaign is concerned, so that you get to decide which way you should be standing.
3 subjects, like each night. Let's look at them in detail. Subject number 1, you've seen Liquorgate and then you saw Assaultgate. They're calling it the Dollargate. Dollargate has hit the Aam Aadmi Party, Abhishek.
Yeah, what is called, bad times for Aam Aadmi Party. One after the other, a veritable scandal, scam coming out, really.
Yeah. And Mamata versus Sanatanis. Mamata versus Sanatan Dharma. Mamata versus Hindu institutions. It's out in the open. She's doing it again and again, 2 times in the last 3 days. Second focus subject and the big takeaway from Phase 5, Abhishek.
Yes, Phase 5 seems to be doing fantastically well in terms of numbers, and we are particularly excited about Baramulla, the North Kashmir constituency, which has broken its earlier record, and we're going to discuss all that and more.
Okay, let's start with the focus subject this evening. What is Dollargate, Abhishek? After Assaultgate, another controversy has hit the Aam Aadmi Party. Did the Aam Aadmi Party break foreign funding rules? Abhishek, what more do we know about this story?
All right, so briefly, Niranjan, before we get into the conversation, essentially there are a set of documents, essentially communication between the Enforcement Directorate and the Ministry of Home Affairs, where the agency is telling the MHA that while investigating a drugs bust in Punjab, they stumbled upon documents which clearly show that the Aam Aadmi Party was taking foreign funding. So far, so good. But it seems that the foreign funding was in breach of both FCRA, which is Foreign Contributions Regulation Act, and the PMLA, which is Prevention of Money Laundering Act. And that's why this is story today. Okay,
Vineet Goenka is in our studios this evening. Dollargate. Vineet Goenka, Dollargate. Now, I'm just going through some of the details that we had. For example, this is between 2015 to 2023, correct? 2015 to 2023.
Yes.
There are 3 cases that they've pointed out. That in one case, 155 people abroad donated about 1 crore on 400 occasions using 55 passport numbers. This is the second case of the Aam Aadmi Party, where 71 donors residing abroad used 21 mobile numbers to make donations valued at about 1 crore on 256 occasions. And there's a third case of 75 donors residing abroad using 15 credit cards for making donations totaling 19 lakh on 148 occasions. Are they really this cash trap that they have to seek money from abroad?
Ram to both of you and all the viewers who are watching me right now. The fundamental question which one has to ask is, who gives money, why, and to whom? So for example, today you and I stand in the market and say that we have great ideas, please fund us. How many people will give us money for the cause? So somebody who gives you money has some intentions. 1, he believes in your philosophy. 2, he believes in you. And 3rd, he has some intentions which he is trying to push through you. And if case, you're my friend and you would like to fund me for my own political gains, how many times will you do it? Once, twice, 5% of your earning, 10% of your earning? But when a single credit card has been used multiple times, one single person does multiple transactions through multiple SIM cards, one person does it through multiple locations, then you ask, what was the need? Because if you donate to somebody who is your close friend or to a philosophy which you believe in, you will do it once in a year, twice in a year. You may give 2%. But this all transactions are, Sam, this is not donation. This is basically payment to run their own agendas. So what I see here as a common man.
You know what is the agenda? As I see,
this is,
just to add.
if I just complete in next 30 seconds, I see that somebody pushed their agenda. Whether it was a state actor, whether it was a non-state actor, whether it was a lone wolf from outside, whether they were known to them before they became a political party, or whether they were known to them from the early days of their Andolan. These people had some give and take, some returns, somewhere there was understanding.
You see, Niranjan, what makes one believe that there is some element of agenda is that under the FCRA and PMLA provisions, foreign nationals are not allowed to donate to Indian political parties.
Yes.
Now it seems that it comes out from these documents, it's really damning, that while there are many Indian nationals with Indian passports living in all these foreign jurisdictions giving money, there is a whole bunch of people who are actually Canadian nationals, New Zealand nationals, Americans, of
Yeah.
Indian origin, NRIs, but with American citizenship, who are making these donations.
Yeah.
And that's breach of law.
Yeah.
That's an illegality.
Yeah.
And that fuels this thought that Vinit Goenka
But,
shared.
but can I ask you a question,
There is
Abhishek? I
some
mean,
agenda.
looking at the numbers, I mean, you just saw, okay, a scam is a scam, whether it's 10 rupees, 100 rupees,
Yeah, sure.
1 lakh, 1 crore. But relatively, the numbers that we saw here,
Yeah, small numbers.
small numbers.
No, but this is because the legal provision that you can't donate more than 20,000 by one person at one time.
Okay.
So they are using that provision, and that's why the ticket size seems small. But again, as I said, there is a breach of law in terms of foreign nationals.
Can I ask you another question, Abhishek? Sorry to cut you short there. Why are all these stories against Aam Aadmi Party just coming a few days before Delhi votes? It's obvious, right? It's time. You think it's time? It's
Yeah,
not. It's not a coincidence.
Yeah, because the Aam Aadmi Party is in news.
Yeah.
So why not add to it?
They say it's an old story. Is it an old story?
It's not an old story in the sense that the last document that is there with you, Niranjan, is of late 2023. And the investigation is going on.
Yeah.
And there is a due process which obviously agencies have to follow in terms of show cause and seeking a reply.
Okay.
It seems, we are told by our sources, that a reply has come. It's not satisfactory. And that's why before an action takes place, it can't be out of the blue. And that's why you are getting to hear about this Dollargate.
Okay. Will it have an impact on the Aam Aadmi Party in the Delhi election? I mean, even Aam Aadmi Party is not excited about this story.
So before I answer your question that whether it will impact them or not, can I take a liberty to answer the question
Yes.
which you asked him? See, Arvind Kejriwal got his first summon when? He would have got that summon, he would have attended that, these queries would have come in that time. He chose to make this timing. He chose that this should come here. Else it would have been 3 months back.
2
He
years
chose
back.
deliberately not to attend 8-9
18
summons.
months back.
No,
You're
8-9
talking about
summons.
Liquorgate.
Yeah.
You're talking about Liquorgate.
Yeah. Liquorgate or Dollargate. See, investigating of agencies will not throw all the evidences on your face in a one go. They would also like to bet you up, confirm it, then they go step by step. If the accused is, coordinating, cooperating, then they are little liberal. They are this thing. But the moment they see that the accused is trying to hide behind all the.
You're
cars
saying
of-
he timed his arrest.
Yes, so he timed his arrest, and so this what has come today has been timed by him. Else this should have come 3 months back. Number two, the important question is not whether it has been, it is coming in the public eye today or yesterday. Importance is who paid, why they paid. So I see one simple thing. If it is Canadians, and then you see the narrative coming from Canadian government, then you see things happening in our northernly state where they have a
No,
ruling.
there is
party.
one specific instance by the way,
Yes,
Niranjan,
yes,
where there is
yes.
a Khalistani element to it.
There is?
Yes.
What is
being
a Khalistani
investigated.
element?
So there is one person, that the name is there with you,
Okay.
Karnail Singh.
Yes.
And there is a reason why that one person, one particular name is a name or individual of interest or person of interest. And while the donation is small again, the connections are not that innocuous, and that's why the investigation, as I said, Niranjan, this is
Yeah.
still an ongoing investigation, and we might get to hear more of it in the coming days.
All right, let's see where the story goes. Interesting that it comes before the Delhi elections. It's a talking point. It will be a talking point. Will that impact anybody's vote? I don't
I
know.
doubt.
Let's see. Maybe not. Maybe yes. Let's look at the next story in detail, shall we? Okay, Mamata Banerjee. Mamata Banerjee, I don't know what's gotten into Mamata Banerjee. I thought she had a fairly respectable relationship with the Ramakrishna Mission, ISKCON, and Bharat Sevashram. She's hit out at Hindu institutions, and it's an open war. And she claims in her defense, she claims that it is not against institutions, but it's against individuals. But I don't think she would have done that in a campaign rally, isn't it, Abhishek? She's for her to take the name of a monk, not once but twice, and call him pro-BJP.
No, this is obviously a clear case of some element of frustration.
Yeah.
And equal dollops of she pandering to her own constituency, which
Yeah.
is the minority vote bank. Because, remember, and it's a very risky proposition, by the way, Niranjan, because Ramakrishna Mission, at the end of it, has deep roots in Bengal.
Yeah.
It's where the organization was founded. And for Mamata Banerjee to be making that kind of attack on ISKCON, on Ramakrishna Mission, and even Bharat Sevashram Sangh, it can be a twin-edged
For her
sword.
to do that,
It can go either way. It can go against her
Now,
also.
my question is, if she has gone to this level, does that reflect her frustration?
No, this is not her frustration. This is her thoughtful strategy. You overlook and forgive somebody who's frustrated. But if somebody does this thoughtfully, then you have to take it very seriously. This is a move to woo a particular community, particular religion. This is a move to frustrate the elements which are trying to hold Indian nationals there. See, I'll tell you a couple of incidences. One, asking and allowing. Now I'm taking it very.
I say it can go either way.
Yeah,
and let me tell you, because as I said, RKM is a very respected organization.
I know what I'm going to tell, and so I'm responsible for what I'm going to tell. So allowing a Bangladeshi national to come on the propaganda or her rallies. So we have seen in the last election, she allowed one of the film heroes, actors of Bangladesh, which was then identified, and then election commission had to ask him to leave, and the visa was revoked.
Yes.
Or very deliberately passing an order not allowing Durga immersion, and thereby sending a message that Durga is not important, but Tajia is important. Or trying to stop somebody chanting Jai Shri Ram. Or trying to tell that they will force you to have cow dung in your breakfast. Then trying to identify some people as Biharis and some people as outsider. These are thoughtful strategies. She is not frustrated. She is a very thoughtful, cold-blooded, cold thought idea. Thakur Ramakrishna is revered there as Bhagwan, and
that's why I'm saying it's a tremendous
and it has given what a tradition. See,
that's
Swami Vivekananda comes from there,
her
Akhandanandji Maharaj comes from there, Satyananda Maharaj comes from there, and it is not only a ashram of monks who come there and chat this thing. Please go to Nimpit. If you see that the service we see done, thousands of students have been studying there under these monks. They run schools, they run colleges, they run hospitals. The seva which they do is unparalleled, and they don't ask you what is your name and what is your religion. So now, Ramakrishna Mission is not only for Hindus. Please come to all these places. You will find that Muslim students studying in Ramakrishna school and taking blessings of the monk while they maintain their religion.
Can I ask you?
So I think she has gone into a wrong domain. Ramakrishna mission is followed not only by Bengalis,
there is also
but everybody.
This very personal Prime Minister's angle to it, because Prime Minister at one time wanted to become a monk with the Ramakrishna Mission.
Yeah.
Right? And he has mentioned
he stays there when he goes to Bengal.
He has mentioned it so many times. And that's why I think the reaction that came from the Prime Minister, which is our third angle, that Mamata, how dare she? Right? And she has repeated it again. So obviously, I am again repeating, Mr. Goenka, that it's a twin-edged sword. It might go against her.
You know what I'm worried about?
She might have bitten more than she.
Abhishek, you know why?
And as I said, Golwalkar Guruji had background of Ramakrishna, and each of us, some or the other day, would have visited ashram. They would have followed Vivekananda. And Ramakrishna Mission is not only one Ramakrishna Mission. It has then other verticals. If you see the orders of Vivekananda, then there are other things which have been done, old age homes and all these things. So everybody who is in West Bengal, and why only West Bengal? Bengal is staying across the globe. They relate with Ramakrishna.
The Prime Minister raised a point today, Abhishek, and that is why I feel it's even more dangerous. There has been an attack on a Ramakrishna Mission ashram. It is not the Ramakrishna Mission, but it's a branch of Ramakrishna Mission. There's been an attack late night. There's a complaint filed that 12 people came armed. They came armed. Now, that's dangerous. Now, that happened...
And that would have got... those attackers might have got a cue from Mamata.
It happened after her statement.
Yeah.
Now, that's where she may have crossed the line.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Third story this evening is on the biggest headline, of course, after the fourth and the fifth phase. There is some sort of a uptick. Abhishek, do you see the uptick in the fourth and the fifth phase of voting?
I definitely see, Niranjan. In fact, if you look at it, between the first and second phase of voting, the gap between 2019 and 2024 was 6 to 7% range. In the third and fourth phases, it sort of narrowed down to 2.5 percentage points only between 2019 and 24. And the fifth phase has been fantastic in terms of perhaps fifth phase might prove to be an equalizer, and by phase 6 and 7, we might see there is no difference in polling percentage between 2019 and 2024, which is fantastic because remember, this election is happening 20 days later than 2019, every phase. It's hotter vis-a-vis 2019. Right? So this turnout actually seems absolutely at par. Discounting for the heat with 2019.
Now, one of the biggest takeaways was the voter turnout in Kashmir was a little above 30% in 2019 in Baramulla.
Yes.
As of this minute, it is 54.5%. That's a 20% rise in voter turnout in Baramulla, Kashmir.
And by the time it ends, it might be 60.
It might be 60, but this is unprecedented. I think this is one of the biggest takeaways, Abhishek.
It's the biggest story coming out of Kashmir post abrogation of Article 370. Niranjan. Srinagar polling 9%, 14%. I remember 2009 it voted 9%. 2014 and 19 it voted between 10 and 14%.
Yes.
2019 was 14%. This time 36, 37%.
Yeah.
Similarly, Baramulla, which last election voted 36%.
50,
already crossed 54,
54.5.
might touch 60, and that's a fantastic number.
Yeah, your takeaway on that?
See, Baramulla is the acid test of our democracy and belief in democracy. And I think all these decades, they were denied the rights, equal rights like you and I. We were enjoying the, the umbrella of the constitution. We had all the protections. My brothers here in Delhi or Mumbai, if they were Dalit, they had the protection of various acts which were not implemented there in Kashmir because of 370. I think abrogation of 370 has brought us together. This is a real integration. And this number of votes which have been casted today, whosoever they have been voting, is a certificate to that 370 abrogation which has been happening there. So this is the belief. And I always say in whatever conversations I have, that we are in very mature democracy. Every time there is a power change or every time there has been elections, we have handed over the power very peacefully and this thing. But in Kashmir, there is to be a different sentiment. This time is the first time when I see happiness, girls at the age of 19, 20 or an old lady of 82. You can see photographs which are coming up. There are senior citizens walking into the booth and voting. And with less police personnel around there. Less uniformed people.
You know, there was some attack though this morning. I mean, I think
that was in South Kashmir, not in North.
Yes.
And this is the first time.
Was that
the highest voting turnout, by the way, in Pulwama. I am going to the election commission in the last 8 elections.
Last 8 elections.
That's fantastic. But Niranjan,
yes,
there is a surprise.
What's the surprise?
In phase 5.
What's that?
It's possible that Mumbai is voting
more
with both its hands and might cross 50% voter turnout this time also. Remember, in 2019, for the first time in 3 decades, 6 seats of Mumbai had collectively polled more than 50%, 55%. I don't know whether it's going to touch 55%, but it for sure is going to cross 50% mark because it's already crossed 49 by about 5 p.m. Which means another hour of polling. And remember, in Mumbai, it cools down fast because of the sea. And the last hour of voting might see more voting percentage. Also, there has been a problem reported by all sides, by the way. I've spoken to people there on all sides. So they're saying that there were some issues with polling booths and polling officers. And the process was so slow that many people had to come back, many people had to sweat out, wait if they really wanted to vote, and that might have affected anything between 1 to 2% polling. And that's bad for the election commission. They should see into what's really happened in Mumbai. But Mumbai coming out, and traditionally Mumbaikars don't really come out and in big numbers like people in Bengaluru.
He's lived in Mumbai. So what's your takeaway from that?
Mumbai is very aware, politically aware society.
But they don't vote.
They don't vote. But this time, there is a need to vote. And I think if everybody who is there listening to me and watching you, they want the government to come back with more than 340 seats of BJP
then
and
the
more
polling
than...
number should have been 60%.
Yeah, then the numbers has to be high. And people in Mumbai, they are very excited because the candidates which have been given by BJP, just see North Mumbai, Piyush Goyal, in the East Mumbai, East, you have Mihir Koteja and all these people. They're excellent people, excellent. They are worth looking, and I'm sure they will contribute back to the development of not only India, but specifically their own constituencies also. So there is an excitement.
Okay, so Arnab looks at these numbers in great detail in about exactly 7 to 8 minutes from now. That's on Super Prime Time Max. That's coming up in just about 7 to 8 minutes. He looks at the number, the trends. I don't know why people talk about YouTubers. I don't see too much of YouTube, but are YouTubers talking a lot about voter turnout?
No, but as I said, Niranjan, it's already equalizing.
Yeah, it's equalizing.
So even if it was a factor, for example, in phase 1 and 2, it sort of stands neutralized. So the spin that was being given about low voter turnout being indicative of some kind of anti-incumbency does not stand anymore.
Okay, so very interesting chat and a debate coming up in just a few minutes on Super Prime Time Max. Vineet Goenka, thank you for joining us on 2024 Which Way Today.